The Cadillac. $50,000, Dad announces, eyes twinkling like he's just won a high-stakes poker game. That's what they shelled out. For a chair. I raise my eyebrows. Sounds steep, but judging by his expression, I don't think he's embellishing this time. Dad always knew how to work the angles. They gave me a choice, but I say let Medicare get the Cadillac. I can pay for the walker myself. He's giving me another lesson in negotiation. Stay 2 steps ahead. Stack the deck. Win the game. So you've used it? I ask. He shrugs. Wasn't planning on it, but now that I've got the house to myself for the afternoon, he gives me a sideways glance. Your stepmother says she doesn't want anyone else driving her van. She thinks she's going to keep me home that way. He laughs, folding his arms across his chest. That's fine. I don't need her van. Big eye roll. I'll just use the Cadillac to get myself down there. Reclines better than my lazy boy anyway. I could sleep in that thing. He pauses, eyes glinting. But I don't know how you're getting there. That thing is fast. Hope you can keep up. He grins, half joking. Wait, get where? To the clubhouse. But it's like a mile away. When were you planning on doing that? How about now? Of course it's now. It's always now. A few minutes later, I hear a long metallic scrape, a loud thud, then, damn it! Dad? I call. Everything all right? I'm fine. His voice tight, focused. I follow the sound, and there he is, eyes locked straight ahead, gripping the controls, maneuvering the Cadillac down the narrow hallway, bumping walls, denting drywall, leaving a trail. Once he clears the hallway, he barrels toward the heavy front door, his escape from the compound. Get the door! I hesitate. Maybe one more lap first, Dad. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I think we've done enough damage here, don't you? Open the door. Yeah, I sigh. We certainly have. The chair careens down the steep driveway, and I pray a car doesn't show up. Dad white-knuckling the controls as it swerves and jerks forward in spurts. Halfway down the blazing desert asphalt, it stops. Dead. Right in the middle of the street. Oh, man! Come on! Dad mutters, jabbing at the controls. Nothing. Cars parade by. Gray-haired drivers craning their necks. I can see the heat rising, not just from the pavement. This isn't just a mechanical failure. It's a challenge. And I know which one he'll answer. One of his favorite quotes echoes in my head. Show me a good loser and I'll show you a loser. For Dad, there's always another move. I don't decide to help. I just do. Let me push it, I say, already behind him. But the chair won't budge. Of course it won't. It weighs as much as a Cadillac. Sweat drips down my face while I crack jokes between grunts. Not because it's funny, because that's what I do. I perform so we don't have to feel bad about the situation he created. I'm his self-appointed PR team. Preemptive damage control. He doesn't notice. I don't think he cares. What he cares about is results, not what it takes to get there. For him, the real nightmare isn't the broken chair, it's being seen as someone who needs one. For me, the shame is quieter. I knew this would end badly, and I went along anyway. Once I get him to the side of the road, he leans back, shaking his head. Next time we're taking the van. End of story. I'll deal with the boss. I point to some fine print on the back of the chair. Hey, there's a number. The tech gets it running again, and just like that, it's over. I assume, pray, he'll want to go home. I'm done. But Dad just shrugs, pulls away from the curb. All right, I'll just go by myself then. See you later. Next stop, clubhouse. He had the BLT. I had the salad. Months later, we're packing up his latest rental after divorcing the boss. The truck is 99% full. Room for one more thing. Except there are 2. his desk, and the Cadillac, dusty and uncharged. I look at him, bracing. I think we should leave it. We won't have room for your desk. I'm not leaving without that wheelchair. If it's not going, I'm not going. But why? You don't even use it. I'm not going to let you throw away $50,000. That's stupid. It's not staying behind. Load it up. We squeeze it in. The desk doesn't make it. One day I found myself standing in a storage unit, staring at a $50,000 mistake I'd pushed uphill like a dung beetle. I knew exactly how it would end. I pushed anyway.